Hey guys, this is Angie, also known as The Light. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm live in Bryant Park in New York City. And I was like, you know what, let me do my video somewhere else today. And I like to walk. I don't like going to the gym, but I love walking. So hopefully the background won't be too loud. Like, subscribe, and if you'd like to make a donation, to me, my PayPal information will be in my description box. Today, I want to talk about religious narcissists. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I've, lived it. I was raised by a religious narcissist, my religious stepfather. And this religion that I grew up in was Seventh-day Adventist. And Seventh-day Adventist is Christian. We're Sabbath worshipers, Sabbath worshiping, just like the Jews. But, they basically worship on Saturday. And that's pretty much their basis of their religion. It's based on keeping that Sabbath day holy. And it's a whole bunch of other components to it, but I don't want to get into the whole doctrine of the religion. But Seventh-day Adventist is usually considered to be a strict religion. My mother was originally Baptist, but when she met the narcissist, he convinced her to convert over to Adventism. So I basically was born and raised in the Seventh-day Adventist church. Seventh-day Adventists, just like the Jews, from sundown Friday night to sunset Saturday night, you cannot really do anything. It's completely observed for God. And that was very, very, it was a big deal in my home growing up. We could not cook, we could not watch TV, you can't talk on the phone, you can't play with your toys, you can't make any purchases whatsoever when during the Sabbath. So those are multiple things. And growing up as a kid, it was kind of difficult, but through time you get used to it. He was very, very, very huge on religion. And I think he used that religion to place fear into us. Things are always, you have to obey us. You have to be obedient. God will punish you if you do not, listen to your mother and I. He was major in our church as well. He was the head custodian, he was a deacon, and he was also one of the head elders of the church, meaning he sat up there with the pastor, near the pulpit in front of the church every Sabbath, okay? And people looked up to him. My mother and him, they worked with young people, so they were always around, teens and 20s, helping them, and they really, really looked up to them. And this played a huge role when my mother finally divorced him, because nobody believed her. He portrayed to be this perfect religious guy when the entire time he was sleeping with women in the church and women outside of the church. That's another thing. First of all, narcissism is the Jezebel spirit. Jezebel spirit is a biblical term after a very evil woman in the Bible. And Jezebel tried to kill prophets, pretty much. But go and look in the Bible and you can study it and why they use the term Jezebel. And a lot of people think that only women can be Jezebel spirits, and that is not true. I actually know more men who have the Jezebel spirit than I actually do know women. But anyway, going back to how the upbringing was, he was looked at to be very important in the church. People looked up to him. There was a couple of times where there were some teens in our church who got arrested and he went and bailed them out. He would give clothes. He would even run the soup kitchen. He, worked with the homeless and gave money to people and all these different things. And that's what gets you caught up in the illusion. The spirit is very highly intelligent. These people, these demons know that if you do good deeds, people will automatically assume that you're a good person, and it'll be hard for people to detach that character that they've built up for whenever their victims come to you, and say, listen, this person, beating my ass, this person cheating on me, this person is abusing me. People are not going to believe it because they have that image of, no, this is impossible that this person could be abusive because they've bailed me out of jail. They've fed me. They've given me money. So who do you think is going to look crazy? Their victims are going to look crazy. And this is basically what happened to my mother when she finally got tired of the beatings, got tired of him cheating, him, coming home all different types of times of the night. When she went to the church to try to tell them what he was doing, the church turned their back against her. And they didn't believe her. None of the high officials tried to investigate, tried to confront him. He still was able to serve in the church, even though he was breaking every 10 commandment that there was and then some, okay? Later on, there were people who came out and said, I want to apologize to your mother. There was some people that came to me and apologized after my mother had died, saying, I knew that he was cheating on her. I knew that he was doing these things, and this is really sad. I'm no longer in the church, and this is not why I left religion. I left religion because I felt that I grew spiritually, and religion no longer served me anymore. So I am not religious. Yes, I believe in God. I read the Bible as a guide, and I feel even closer to God than I was when I was in religion. So I'm not against it, against anybody who does follow religion, but I'm no longer a Seventh-day Adventist Christian. I consider myself a woman of God, and that's it. And this is actually a part of my calling, I believe, in sharing everything that I have been through in my life. This is part of my calling from God. Anyway, they put up this facade to control you, okay? The religion is just a control. I've been thinking, I've been going back and forth. Do I even believe that narcissists even believe in God? And I don't even know if they believe in God. I mean, they do seem very scared to die. They don't want to grow old. They don't want to die. But I'm wondering, do they really believe in God? Or do they do believe in God and they know that there may be a hell for them to burn in? I'm not really sure. But I never take them to be God-fearing, because even though it's a mental disorder, it's a spiritual possession. I guess they're not God-fearing at all, because they'll still continue to do things even when things are brought up to them. You get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, once they're doing something and they're not conscious of it, even when it's brought up to them, they're still unable to do better. So I don't even know if they're afraid of growing old because they don't want to die and they know there's hell to pay. They're gonna burn in hell. I'm not really sure. That's something I've always going back and forth with, but when I think about it, I don't know if the narcissist even believes in a God. I feel like they kind of believe that they are God themselves. But he used this religion down to the T. And what was really interesting is that after he divorced my mother, he stopped going to church. So everything that he stood so strict upon, I mean, if we had to go to church. I was in church at least 3 or 4 times a week. I was a part of the children's choir. I was a part of Pathfinders, which is like kind of like a Club Scout type of thing. I had to volunteer some time with, for the soup kitchen with the homeless, and I was there for choir practice and there for AYS, which is an afternoon service on Saturdays. And it was just insane. I mean, I will never take away the things that I've learned for being in a religion. I think growing up in a church helped me with public speaking. As shy as I am, it helped me to get over public speaking. There was many times where I'm 13 years old and I'm, standing in front of thousands of people speaking because of church. My grandmother also, she was Baptist, and I mean, I'm telling you, her behavior disgusted me. She was one of the mothers, they have the older ladies in the church where they look up to them, the mothers of the church. And she donated a lot of money to the church. So they looked up to her. And I did hear through the grapevine, there were some people who saw through her facade of being this righteous woman. But she would say a lot of things to me. That's motorcycles. I'm in Manhattan. She would say a lot of things to me that made me feel like she really didn't believe in God. It seemed like she was more afraid of man than she was afraid of God. Her paranoid, the narcissist is very paranoid. They're always thinking someone's coming back to harm them because of all the crap that they've done to people. The first thing she would do in the morning was get on the phone and gossip. This is not the life and the walk of a Christian woman, okay? She would get on the phone and gossip with women from her church, with her neighbor, and even with one of my dad's ex-girlfriends. It was such an inappropriate friendship. They would get on the phone every morning. Not a day skipped over. Every morning she got on the phone and she gossiped about everyone. She gossiped about me. She gossiped about her family. She gossiped about the people in the church. And it was just so disgusting. And she would be on the phone for at least an hour in the morning. And I used to be like, how do you get up early in the morning and just talk crap about people at 9 o'clock in the morning till 10? Then she'll go to her senior citizen center where other church members were, and she'll sit there and she will gossip with them. It's very, very, gossip is a huge part in, you hear the birds? It's a huge part with a narcissist, because gossip is a form of witchcraft. Speaking ill words against people curses people's lives. If you keep telling someone they're ugly, if you keep saying they're not going to find a job, they're never going to have shit, they're never going to go anywhere in life, that is verbally placing curses on people. And this is something that she did to me for years, and I was stuck with these spells on me that every time I moved forward, I had 10 steps back. This woman was cursing me verbally every single day. Words are very powerful. The Bible speaks of it. And even if you don't believe in the Bible, I mean, when you go to court, you got to have your word. You got to place your hand in the Bible. You got to, put an oath, and you do your vows. That's you making an oath. Words are very, very powerful. So be careful how you're speaking to yourself. I know that the narcissist has been speaking to you all these years negatively, to the point that you are so programmed to it, and you actually believe that you're stupid, you're ugly, you're gonna be broke all your life, or whatever it is the narcissist told you. But yeah, she was very her form of hurting people was through gossip, and keeping that facade of always donating to the church. And she seemed to be this sweet little grandma mama at the church, but then would come home and talk to me like I was trash. And it's very interesting that after she died, all her friends at her church said, "Oh my goodness, she spoke so highly of you." What? Are you kidding me? And I mean, it is possible that she did speak highly of me to certain people, but then when she came home, she treated me like crap, But there were some people also who did see through her evilness and said to me, it was very kind of you to take care of her, and God's going to bless you for that, because you didn't have to do that, if you know what I mean, So there definitely were people that knew she was full of shit, pretty much. And her funeral was pretty empty. Even though she did all this donating and things like that, that funeral was pretty empty. Okay. My mother's funeral was packed. Okay. She was very, very loved. So to me, I feel like these narcissists, a lot of them die with not many friends, not many people loving them because of all the things that they do. It eventually catches up to them, and they lose everyone, at the end. But religion is very, very huge when it comes to some narcissists. It's a cover up. It's a tool to hide behind the facade, to pretend that they are holy when they're really evil. And it's sickening because you're playing with God. Like, do you know how evil you have to be to play with God? To play with God's word, to play with God's doctrine, to play with religion in general. Religion is life to certain people. It's very important. And it's so disturbing. They don't believe anything that they're saying that they believe in. They don't believe in that word. They don't believe in it. They're only going through the motions. This man, my stepfather, I don't even want to call him my stepfather, but my ex-narc stepfather, it was just disgusting how you're an elder and you're screwing women that's in the church. And one of the women that he was sleeping with, he actually invited her to our house for lunch after church one day. So one of your little whores sat in our house and ate my mother's food. They're disgusting, and this is how far they'll go. You have to be very careful and watch, people's actions. People say things, but watch your actions as well, because eventually the narcissist always slips up. They always slip up eventually. Don't be so quick to admire your pastor, admire your Sunday school teacher, the choir director. You don't be so quick to believe what they're telling you and look up to them. Look up to God. That's who you need to look up to. Okay, hopefully you didn't get duped by a religious narc. Stay narc free. I'm going to continue to make more videos. Peace and blessings. And wherever you are, I hope you're enjoying the weather. God bless.